this is really a portrait of what life is all about. There's always these moments where he tries to imagine the beautiful, the more intimate, more inner part of his life that I call the metaphor, because it actually represents something that is not really real, but it stems from an understanding of beauty. And then the reality of life comes into play. He starts the introduction with a very, very long, quiet arrival of something that could be in the middle of the night or could be just before the sunrise. This arrives actually at a very, very happy and very beautiful bim, bom, bim, bom, bim, bom, bim. I think anyone that hears it could imagine the countryside and people just enjoying a daily routine. In the second movement, it's a beautiful tribute to a folk dance and to a folk melody. We're talking about the Ländler. When he sets up one character very, very strong, then this actually turns on its head and becomes something very different. The third movement is one of the most surprising things, because Mahler takes a very, to a certain degree, unnoticed instrument as a solo instrument. On the ground floor of the house that he lived in, there was this pub, there was a bar. I can only imagine a young Mahler upstairs in the room singing while hearing rum, didim, bum, bum. The fourth movement, of course, begins with an enormous explosion. It's like a rocket going into space all of a sudden. It starts to dissipate and it starts to go away, and we arrive at the most incredibly beautiful moment. Now that we know the other 9 symphonies of Mahler, we start to see this little inner voice, how it develops, but it begins here. And then it's interrupted again by this incredible storm. He had a very troubling life, and just when he finds happiness, he is thrown into despair. And just when he feels like he conquers that despair, then he comes back. And it's a psychological trauma, really, that Mahler experiences his entire life. He asks the horns and the brass to stand up at the end. And I think this statement of saying, no, I am life. He brings us to this moment of accepting everything, accepting the entire universe. This is really reality at its darkest and metaphor at its most beautiful.